For over 1,000 years, a magnificent city stood at the crossroads of continents, a beacon of civilization, art, and learning. This was Constantinople, the heart of the Byzantine Empire, a direct successor to ancient Rome. Its formidable walls had repelled countless invaders, earning it a reputation for impregnability. Yet, in the spring of 1453, this eternal city faced its greatest challenge. And in a dramatic, almost unbelievable turn of events, the city that had stood for a millennium would fall in just 2 short months. How could such a monumental collapse occur so swiftly? Let's first understand what Constantinople was. Founded by the Roman Emperor Constantine the Great in 330 AD, it was originally named Nova Roma, or New Rome, before being renamed in his honor. It served as the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire, which we now know as the Byzantine Empire. This empire preserved classical Greek and Roman culture, law, and engineering for centuries after the Western Roman Empire collapsed. Strategically located between Europe and Asia, it controlled vital trade routes and was immensely wealthy. Central to Constantinople's survival for so long were its legendary defenses. The most famous were the Theodosian walls, a triple line of formidable fortifications built in the 5th century. These walls were a marvel of engineering, an outer wall, a deeper moat, and a massive inner wall, each segment designed to slow and crush invaders. For centuries, these walls proved almost impenetrable, earning the city the nickname the Queen of Cities. They were a physical manifestation of the empire's enduring power and resilience against a constantly changing world. Despite its glorious past, by the 15th century, the Byzantine Empire was a shadow of its former self. Centuries of conflict, crusader sacks, notably the Fourth Crusade in 1204, which saw the city brutally plundered by fellow Christians, and internal strife had severely weakened it. Its territory had shrunk to little more than Constantinople itself and a few outlying areas. The once mighty empire was now a vulnerable island in an increasingly hostile sea, surrounded by new, ambitious powers. The stage was set for a dramatic final act. The greatest threat to Byzantium came from the Ottoman Empire, a rapidly expanding Islamic power that had risen in Anatolia. The Ottomans had steadily conquered Byzantine lands, forming a vast empire that now completely encircled Constantinople. Their ambition was clear: to capture the fabled city and make it their new capital. This wasn't just a military campaign, it was a clash of civilizations, a fight for dominance over trade, religion, and the future of 2 continents. The Ottomans represented a dynamic, aggressive force ready to challenge the old order. Leading the Ottoman charge was Sultan Mehmed II, a remarkable figure who, at just 21 years old, possessed an extraordinary intellect, an insatiable ambition, and a ruthless determination. He was fluent in multiple languages, deeply knowledgeable in history, and a master strategist. Mehmed was obsessed with the conquest of Constantinople, seeing it as his divine destiny and the key to solidifying his empire's power. He spent years meticulously planning the siege, understanding that only with overwhelming force and innovative tactics could the ancient walls be breached. Opposing Mehmed was the last Byzantine emperor, Constantine XI Palaiologos. He was a man of immense courage and dignity, acutely aware of his empire's dire situation. With Constantinople's population dwindling to perhaps 50,000, and only about 7,000 fighting men, a mix of Greeks, Venetians, Genoese, and other foreign volunteers, Constantine faced overwhelming odds. Despite desperate pleas to Western Europe for aid, little arrived. He resolved to fight to the last, choosing to defend the city and its legacy rather than surrender. Mehmed understood that conventional siege methods might not be enough. His solution was unprecedented artillery. He commissioned a Hungarian engineer named Urban to cast enormous cannons, far larger than anything seen before. The most famous was the Great Bombard, a massive bronze cannon capable of firing stone balls weighing hundreds of pounds. Transporting these behemoths was an immense logistical feat, requiring thousands of men and oxen. This cannon represented a shift in warfare, signaling the beginning of the end for traditional castle defenses. On April 6, 1453, the Ottoman army, numbering between 80,000 and 100,000 soldiers, along with a powerful fleet, encircled Constantinople. The siege had officially begun. The defenders, heavily outnumbered, could only watch as the vast Ottoman forces deployed their siege engines. The initial days were marked by probing attacks and the psychological warfare of the relentless Ottoman drums and trumpets, designed to intimidate the defenders. It was a terrifying spectacle, a stark reminder of the immense power arrayed against the isolated city. One of Constantinople's cleverest defenses was a massive iron chain that stretched across the mouth of the Golden Horn, a natural harbor north of the city. This chain prevented any enemy fleet from entering the harbor and attacking the city's vulnerable northern walls. It was a brilliant piece of naval engineering, effectively securing a crucial flank. The Ottoman fleet, despite its size, found itself blocked, unable to bring its full force to bear. Mehmed knew he had to neutralize this defense to achieve a complete siege. Mehmed's response to the Golden Horn chain was an audacious feat of engineering and willpower. He ordered his men to build a road of greased logs over a hill behind Galata, a Genoese colony that was neutral but sympathetic to the Ottomans. In a single night, the Ottomans dragged 70 of their smaller ships, complete with crews and sails, overland for 2 miles and relaunched them into the Golden Horn, bypassing the chain entirely. This incredible maneuver shocked the Byzantines and demoralized the defenders, demonstrating Mehmed's relentless ingenuity. Day after day, the Great Bombard and other Ottoman cannons pounded the Theodosian walls. The immense stone projectiles shattered sections of the ancient fortifications, creating breaches that the Byzantines desperately tried to repair each night. The sheer scale and continuous nature of the bombardment were unprecedented. The defenders, though courageous, were slowly worn down by the constant noise, dust, and destruction. Each impact was not just a physical blow to the walls but a psychological blow to the morale of the dwindling defenders. The Byzantines were not without their own innovations. They deployed Greek fire, a mysterious incendiary weapon that could burn on water, to repel Ottoman ships. They also engaged in extensive countermining. As Ottoman engineers dug tunnels under the walls to undermine them, Byzantine engineers listened for the sounds of digging, then dug their own counter-tunnels. Often, fierce subterranean battles would erupt in these dark, confined spaces, as both sides sought to destroy the other's efforts beneath the very ground they stood on. It was a hidden war beneath the siege. After nearly 2 months of relentless siege, with the walls breached in several places and his army exhausted but still vast, Mehmed prepared for the final assault. He offered Constantine terms of surrender, the city would be spared, and the emperor could rule in Maria. Constantine, however, famously replied, "To surrender the city to you is not my decision, nor that of any of its citizens, for all of us prefer to die rather than live in slavery." The die was cast. On the eve of the final attack, both sides prepared for a struggle to the death. The final assault began in the early hours of May 29, 1453. Mehmed launched wave after wave of his army against the battered walls. First came the irregular troops, followed by the more disciplined Anatolian soldiers, and finally, the elite Janissaries, highly trained infantry, who were the Sultan's personal guard. The Byzantines fought with desperate courage, repelling attack after attack. The fighting was brutal and relentless, a crescendo of steel, arrows, and desperate cries, as the fate of an empire hung in the balance. Tragedy struck with the accidental opening of the Kirkaporta, a small postern gate, which allowed a contingent of Janissaries to slip into the city. Simultaneously, the commander of the Genoese mercenaries, Giovanni Giustiniani, was gravely wounded, causing panic among the defenders. Emperor Constantine XI, seeing the tide turn, reportedly tore off his imperial insignia and charged into the fray, fighting alongside his men until he fell, his body never identified. The walls were finally breached, and the Ottoman army poured into the city. The city that took a millennium to build fell in a matter of hours. With the fall of Constantinople, Mehmed II rode into the city and went straight to the Hagia Sophia, the magnificent cathedral, which he immediately ordered converted into a mosque. Constantinople, once the capital of the Byzantine Empire, became Istanbul, the new capital of the Ottoman Empire. This marked a profound shift, transforming the city's identity and ushering in centuries of Ottoman rule. The city's physical and cultural landscape began to change, reflecting its new Islamic character, while still retaining echoes of its illustrious past. The fall of Constantinople in 1453 was far more than just the end of an empire. It is often cited as a symbolic end to the Middle Ages and the true beginning of the early modern period. It shattered the last vestiges of the Roman Empire, gave the Ottoman Empire unchallenged dominance in the Eastern Mediterranean, and forced European powers to seek new trade routes, spurring the age of exploration. The swift, two-month siege of a city that had stood for 1,000 years stands as a testament to the inexorable march of time, and the dramatic, often sudden, shifts that can reshape the course of human history.